Banking with Us is brought to you by Flight Connections. Small businesses are integral to any modern-day thriving economy. Today we feature Sprint Financial, who helps small businesses thrive. Sprint Financial Services Limited is a Kingston-based microfinance institution founded in 2011, specializing in loans and business services catering to Jamaicans island-wide. Christopher Barrett, CEO of Sprint Financial, tells us more.
All right, my entrepreneurial journey started a very long time ago, about 22 years ago, when I first started a company called Global Courier Services. I shouldn't say my father got myself, my sister started in it. We ran with it and we did really, really well. So we did that for about 10 years. And then we sold that company. My sister went her way and started a bridal store. I went my way and I started a finance company, which is Sprint Financial Services. Currently today now we are about 10 years in and have serviced over 5,000 customers. And so here we are today and everything is going great, can't complain. Well, clearly there was a lot less MFIs then than there are now. There were still a lot of unbanked Jamaicans out there. When I say unbanked, what I essentially mean is that they either have gone over or over leveraged themselves in loans from banking institutions, or they don't have all of the criteria to meet the bank's stringent criteria to get loans. So what we do is there's a lot more people that were left and still are today who need to get funding for either for personal reasons or for their business. And it was, of course, at that time a lot more, the market was more rich for borrowers from MFIs than they are today. But there's still a lot of people today who are in need of cash and of loans at decent competitive rates. So yeah, at the time, that's why we got into it, because I thought there was still a need. There are a lot of people out there who just wanted small loans. They wanted a 200,000, a 300,000, and they needed it right now, as in like within a week or 24 hours. And the banks weren't really facilitating that. And so that's where we saw our niche and we jumped in right away and capitalized on it. And it's been great so far. Sprint offers a myriad of products. They are unique. There's run-of-the-mill product where people just want a personal loan, a business loan. However, we brought to market about 6 years ago what we call recreational loans. Some people call it party loans. We call it recreational loans. That did very, very well for us. When we did it, we had a lot of other MFI that started to follow suit because there was indeed a market. For example, you remember there's a time when we used to have, Dream Weekend. And those parties can become very expensive, between hotels, the ticket price, people want to buy their clothes, that kind of thing. So we saw a market there. We started to offer it. We didn't think it was going to really be a hit, but it was. We had a lot of people coming and applying, and we funded a lot of folks who just didn't have the cash at the time. Or people who didn't actually have a credit card to put all of those fundings on their card so they can go and, enjoy themselves. So we were facilitating people who didn't have credit cards and who needed the funds right away. Also, we did carnival loans. Again, that's another recreational point where people simply could not afford to, buy the costume, and what the whole cost of that is. We did that, and we also are still doing and started, at least I believe we started it, plastic surgery loans, right? Or what we call cosmetic loans. We did that also. So those are two items that we started that are doing very well today. As I said, other MFIs have also started to do that. So we blaze a trail on that. Today, what we're doing though, which I'm most proud of, is two particular products. One is called receivable financing, another is called purchase order financing. Those products aren't a reinventing of the wheel. However, when we first started to advertise it, we simply could not handle the amount of applicants that were coming in from it. And today we're still getting a whole lot of applications coming in, and those two products are doing really well because it hits a niche in the Jamaican market today, where credit is what a lot of companies use to stay competitive. So in that particular arena, we're doing very well with those two particular products. Our company culture at Sprint is one where we really encourage innovation in all of our staff. We like to think of our employees not as employees, but as team members, right? We like to have our team members essentially not think that we don't have an open door policy. We want all of our team members to come in when they have new ideas, any particular concern that they have, no matter how small it is, we address it. There's no one who's more above the other in terms of hierarchy. So the culture is one where I like to think of it as a Google culture, where we're relaxed, we're casual, because it breeds for creation and it breeds for innovation, rather than just come in and say, okay, we have a finance company here and it's ABC 1, 2, 3. Everyone comes in and no idea is seen as a silly idea. And so our culture is one like that. And all of our staff that we have, I am just impressed with how the due diligence of their work. They're up early before 9 a.m. to start working. Some of them are calling at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night when they have a concern or they're processing a client. So they don't see it as work or as a job. And so it's a really relaxed and innovative culture that we try to foster here at Sprint.
More banking with us when we return. Welcome back to Banking with Us. As we continue to feature Sprint Financial, Christopher Barrett describes his team and the importance of his products to his clients.
I like to relate it to, like a soccer team, right? Because essentially each employee plays their role and they play it very well. But yet we all come together and we share ideas and we even share responsibilities to a point, right? All of our staff have each other's personal cell number. All of them have my cell number, and they each have each individual's cell number. So they can always call each other if they have any concerned issues, ideas, and so forth. So my team, and most of them now, have been with Sprint for over 5 years. And they love here. It feels like home to them. And our team is they're hardworking, and I couldn't have a better group of people, or chose a better group of people to have on our side. Right now, it is vital for a lot of small and micro businesses or SMEs to have access to capital. They don't have what I would consider to be convenient and quick access to capital in the standard banking system today. Take, for example, if you have an entrepreneur, a business person that now has an order for their product. Take, for example, I don't know, let's call it canned ackee. They have an order for canned ackee. But however, they don't have the cash flow to fulfill that order. Why don't they have the cash flow to fulfill the order? Because the order that they made previously, they cannot get paid from their customer for another 30 to 60 days, because that is just a credit that was extended, because that's what the market is bearing. You have to give credit. But if they don't get the money right away, they potentially lose the order from that particular customer. So the market the small companies need to have that injection of cash. So for the purchase orders that Sprint offers to our customer, we can now come in and say, hey, listen, you have an order for whatever, a ton of canned akis. You don't have to wait to get paid from your customer, from your last transaction from your customer. We're going to give you those funds today to fulfill that order within 24 hours. Now you can fulfill that order and you don't lose that customer. And that is just one. And if you look at that in the market today, the commerce market today, I would say about 70% of businesses are giving credit to their customers. But credit simply means delay in getting your cash back. So we're there to fulfill that particular need, and it's pretty almost insane the amount of applicants that we get to get that cash. If you look at our other service, which is the factoring, or some people call it receivable financing, that particular one is also in huge demand, because you will go ahead and provide your products to a company, but then that company is saying, hey, I can't pay in 30 to 60 days. But man, if you can get the funds right now, that customer will be very happy. So what we do is we will go ahead and fund that customer right now, rather than them have to wait for the customer to actually pay them. So we're funding them right away. And so again, cash flow, once the cash is moving, you're making money. And that puts our customer ahead of their competition, because now their competition is giving credit, but our customer no longer has to give credit because Sprint is there to fund them right away. Technology is definitely a huge part of Sprint Financial Services, because everything is about convenience. And what technology does is lend to convenience. So the software that we've been using for the last decade is one that, in my personal opinion, is one of the best microfinance softwares that exists today. Why is that? Well, it keeps record of every transaction. It allows all of our employees to talk to each other via a Twitter feed, which comes on the screen. It allows us to have all of our customers have their own portal where they can now go in and see, okay, here's how much I owe on this day. Here's what my interest is right now. Oh, do I have any late charge? They can see exactly what they have right on their cell phone. What that allows is less phone calls coming into my staff, where my staff can now allot that extra time to go ahead and do the other work that they have to do, rather than have to answer questions like, when's my next payment due from our customers. So technology is really, really important. To add to that, what the technology allows us to do is that we no longer have to have a brick and mortar office. We are now a virtual company. Yes, we do have an actual office, but it's not for customers to come into. So all of our clients that are across the island are basically serviced simply directly through technology that we use. Our software that we use, of course, we also use WhatsApp, normal telephone calls. We don't have to go out and meet our clients face to face. So technology is extremely important. It's going to allow us to be able to scale faster, expand across the island faster, perhaps the Caribbean soon. And my main thing I've always said to everyone about technology or business in general, give the customer convenience. And that's what our technology has allowed us to do. And we want to keep on facilitating that for our clients.
More banking with us when we return. Sprint Financial's Christopher Barrett continues to tell us about the ideal client, how to get a loan, and much more.
An ideal client is one who has their documents ready to go, right? Documents in terms of registration, proof of address, bank stamps, that kind of thing. Someone who has a track record of good payments through other institutions, i.e. a credit check, good credit, that CPI score, that's substantial. Also, a client that has good rapport with us. When we talk to them, they seem very confident about their business. It's not just on paper. You hear the passion in their voice when they talk about their business, right? Clients like those, and clients who we can see when we go to their office. If we do a site visit, we see, boy, things are happening in the office. Things are happening in their warehouse. Clients like those are clients that we try to find, right? Because if we go to our client's office or we speak to them and they sound kind of lackluster and they sound like, hey, they're kind of desperate to get funding, we kind of look at those clients a little bit closer. Clients can apply online. They can apply straight through a phone call with us. We have a system where when they apply their cell phone, they put their basic information in and they press send. It goes directly into our software, and it automatically fills all the spaces. Once they have applied, we normally just give the customer a call back and do our due diligence work after that. And then normally it's in 24, 48 hours, they get their approval and they get funded. Well, like every other business across the world, we took a hit, right? However, one of the main things that, as I said earlier, is we have to be innovative and know how to pivot when things change, right? But nothing remains the same. And COVID is a very unique strike to all of us. We just weren't prepared for it. Nobody was prepared for it. So what we did, we had to pivot. And we pivot basically more towards our purchase order financing and our receivable financing. And we focus on key industries that we felt and we saw at the time were still doing okay during the COVID pandemic. We did that, and that has really taken us to where we are today. So we have to just pivot toward that product to those particular industries.
And when asked about the Microcredit Act and how it would affect his business, this was Mr. Barrett's response.
Well, it's not fully law yet. It's going to be completely implemented, I think, 12 months from now. And we welcome it. I know most of the other microfinance companies welcome the regulation. Sprint definitely welcomes it. It's long overdue. Why is that? Because you want to be able to be more attractive globally to global investors and local investors. So if it is an industry where you have to be licensed for, then it is easier to get capital from institutions to come in and fund you, because now they know you've gone through the rigors with the state or the government to say, well, okay, this particular MFI is certified. So it's good so we can get capital. That's number one. Number two, it does weed out the MFIs that might not be, having the best interests of their customers, where, they might be charging too much in interest, or they have tactics to get the funds back that they shouldn't be using. And it just makes it more regulated. And any regulation, long as it is fair regulation, is good for any industry. So we welcome the act that is coming. The next step, basically, we want to be able to grow a portfolio more. We want to definitely increase our purchase order portfolio or receivable financing portfolio. We want to hopefully get to actually have a public offering with the Junior Stock Exchange. We're trying to shine ourselves out for that. So that would be where we're looking to now, just to basically branch out, expand, scale the company, and if not just in Jamaica, also through to the Caribbean. So that's what's essentially next for us, and to keep our technology growing and how we service clients even better and more convenient. I'd like to add, as it pertains to MFIs out there and to customers out there, is that most MFIs are really trying to, of course, make money. That's what we're in business for. But also we want to be able to assist people in getting funding in a convenient manner. We don't want to have folks have to go through a whole lot of red tape to get funding for their business. The backbone of any country is the micro and small businesses. If they do not have the fuel, i.e. cash, money, legal tender to access conveniently and in a timely manner, you're going to have a struggling economy. We need to feed our SMEs or small businesses with convenient, quick cash, so everybody can start having a lot more trade, value for value, and everybody getting more of an abundance in their business. And that's what I'd like to end with. And rather than seeing lenders as predatory, you have to see us as an option separate from banking to give you money efficiently, quickly, and conveniently.
And that's it for Banking with Us this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Amita Prasad Webb. Until next time. Banking with Us was brought to you by Flight Connections.